Hey, it's Ree here. And those of you who've been listening to my songs on my YouTube channel, I just want to thank you very much for doing that. I had someone last week that asked me if I would describe one of my greatest life moments. And I have been fortunate enough to have a lot of life moments that I've really found special and that, I think about. And right now I'm just out on my back porch having a cup of coffee, and the one that came to my mind the most is how I first came to Nashville and how I ended up falling in love with the Grand Ole Opry. So I thought I would share that story today. When I was, I think I was 13 years old, I grew up in New Jersey, and my parents took us all to Nashville. It was our summer vacation trip. And I had been writing songs since I was 9 years old, and I was so excited about visiting Nashville. It was my dream come true. And when we went to Nashville, it was a long time ago. It wasn't built up the way it is now. There was a few publishers on Music Row. And I remember that there was the George Jones Tour Company. And we went on this tour. And we visited the Stars' homes. And we visited Johnny Cash's home and his museum. And went to Twitty City and all. And I remember being on the bus, and we were passing this one country artist home, and he gave us the middle finger. And the story gets better, don't worry. But as a child, and I was kind of a sheltered child, I was the first of 4 children, that was kind of devastating to me. And there wasn't as much going on in Nashville as now. There wasn't all the bright lights. There was Tootsie's Bar, but there wasn't a whole lot else. And I just remember being very disappointed. And that night in the hotel room, I remember crying myself to sleep. I didn't tell my parents, but I just wanted to go home. I just kind of was disillusioned by the whole experience. And looking back, of course, that country artist, they didn't mean it toward me. They didn't want to be on the tour, and actually found out later that they were in court trying to get their home off the tour. They wanted their privacy. And, of course I respect that looking back now, but as a child, I just didn't understand it. And I just was expecting more out of the city. And so it was our last night there, and we went to the Grand Ole Opry. And we had really good seats. I remember being in the middle, in the center, and looking up at the stage. And as a child, my parents always left the radio on at night. So if a song came on that I loved, it would wake me up out of a sound sleep, and I would listen to it. And there was a few songs at that time that were really, really special to me that I loved. So there I was at the Grand Ole Opry, and it was a really cool experience. If you've never been there, when they're open fully again, you should go, because they have commercials. It's like you're on this live TV show, and you get to see the behind the scenes, and it's really, really special. So I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden the lights come up, and this lady comes on a stage. She has blonde hair, and I hear the intro to the piano music. And there was Skeeter Davis, and she was singing that song, Don't They Know It's the End of the World, and that angelic voice. And I remember my mom, she whispered in my ear, and she said, honey, she's singing this song especially for you. And I felt like she was. I felt like she was singing to me. And I fell in love with Nashville that night. I fell in love with the Grand Ole Opry. And from that day forward, it was my dream to be a country artist and to move to Nashville someday. And I did end up moving to Nashville, and I ended up meeting Skeeter Davis again. And she tried to help me with my career at a later date. And I'll tell you that story in another episode. But thank you for asking me to share that. It really brings back great memories. And thank you for listening to my music and being part of my YouTube channel. It means more to me than words can say. Have a great day. Bye-bye. See you soon.